Hi Capricorn, welcome to February 2020. Thank you guys so much for being here. Let's go ahead and dive right into these cards. So the very first card we get is in fact the Knight of Cups. This signifies your energy, specifically Capricorn. Knight of Cups we love, right? We love the Knight of Cups because he's optimistic, he's musical, he is pleasurable, he seeks out the good things in life, he enjoys his friends, his family, his community. And I actually see you really kind of like wearing your heart on your sleeve and following your heart at the same time. I see you being very involved in the things in your life, being involved with the people and the places and the things that you find yourself, right? So the environment here that we get is signified by the Justice card. So to have an environment of justice can be maybe, I don't know, I'm not feeling a harshness to this Justice card, which sometimes I do. It can come with a bit of an edge, but right now I feel like you're getting the good things, which is why you're taking on the energy of the Knight of Cups. So if you have felt like it's time for the good things to start rolling in and you have been working on especially like the attitude, right? Like the mentality, focusing on the good, really ensuring that you're in a constant state of gratitude. This is going to be the time when justice comes in full force and does you a lot of favors. You're going to start receiving gifts, you're going to start receiving money, you're going to start receiving communications. And while it may be slow, it will still happen nonetheless. I feel like Capricorn, with Jupiter in your sign, the Saturn Pluto thing kind of coming to an end, Saturn finishing out its transit in your sign, all this pressure that has been building with Capricorn is finally starting to ease up. All right, so this is really, really great. And then the very first card that came out for you guys in the 9-card block was in fact the 10 of Cups. So here we have this Knight of Cups walking straight into the 10 of Cups, of course, because that's where he wants to be. He wants to be with the people that he loves. He wants to be on the projects that he knows are going to succeed. He's going to do whatever it takes to ensure that he is involved and that he is very present in the 10 of Cups parts of his life. And any part that is not at a 10 of Cups, right? Any part that is needing or lacking or reminds you of your scarcity or whatever. I just don't know that you're going to give that any credence whatsoever. I just don't know that you're going to fall into the trap of trying to get something to be something that it just simply is not, will not ever be because it never has been, kind of thing, right? The things that are easy, the things that move forward quickly, the things that make you money, the things that help you fall in love, that is the place where you are going to find yourself. And I love Aquarius season because it is such a love-oriented sign, right? It really, really is. It is so much, not like romantic love, but like love, like that which the whole universe is made. Honestly, do you find yourself kind of in a mindset where you're trying to make up for lost time? Because in the very first row here, when I first pulled out these cards, I was looking at these and that was the very first thing that just popped into my mind, was like Capricorn is trying to make up for lost time, because now you don't feel, because you're here, right? You're at the Knight of Cups. You don't feel that kind of negative, daunting pressure from external circumstances. So you have that ability to focus, right? Middle of February, Mars moves into Capricorn, giving added emphasis to the Jupiterian nature, which is now transiting your sign. And I feel like there's this hustle, but it's a pleasurable hustle. I'm going to do the work because I really enjoy it, because I love it, because it brings me benefit, because it's good for my family, because it's yada, yada, yada. And there's like all these lists of reasons why you're really enjoying all of this hard work. Now, when I pulled out this 5 of Coins, I did not get the impression that you are at a 5 of Coins place and that the people around you, because of the people you've chosen to surround yourself with now, they are also not at a 5 of Coins place. But it's almost as though you, like I said, you're like catching up catching up to the Five of Coins, trying to make up for lost time, because any time that was spent being distracted by unnecessary situations, negative people, whatever, you're like, you know, I'm finally really getting what this whole life thing is really all about. And now I'm just going to go live harder and just be more and more alive. But this kind of energy, this Five of Coins energy, lingering as a satellite energy, is a constant reminder of where you've been, you know, constant reminder of what it could be if you don't keep going on this path. Because now you've been there and now you know, so you know what to do and you certainly know what not to do. This card is especially relevant as we make our way into February, as we are totally pushing through, bulldozing through into this new era of our life. And I'm wondering if you're not like super conscious of like now things are different or they're about to be different. Once this event happens, once these things happen, I'm not going to have to stress about it anymore. And you are legitimately freeing yourself up. Right? Directly center of the reading, the Devil reverse. Both of these cards are ruled by Saturn. Saturn is, of course, your ruler. He is a wonderful coach. He is a wonderful guide. But his lessons are no joke. You know, he's kind of like that professor who's, you know, very few people pass this professor's course, but the people that do pass are the people that will never, ever, ever forget this course, right? And you learn the most from this because you had to really confront yourself and see how much you are truly capable of. And that's exactly what's happening here. You are releasing yourself from your limitations. You are releasing yourself from those beliefs that have caused so many problems before. You know, I'm kind of getting this image of a friend of mine, actually, who he was constantly in the shadow of his father. And just recently, over the past year, finally kind of stood up to he's like 45 years old, but he finally stood up to his father. And he stopped playing those little passive-aggressive games that they used to play. He stopped looking for validation, and he found freedom. And that kind of storyline, he's a Capricorn, so it popped into my head. That kind of vibe is really what I'm getting here. So now the world is like, okay, great, now you're free. Now it's not a problem anymore. Now it's not a limit. So what are you going to do with this? And the Eight of Coins, I don't know that you're really thinking that big right now. You might be trying to figure out what the big picture is, but ultimately you're in the grind. Once Mars hits Capricorn, you are going to be full on in the grind, and it's going to feel so good. Like you're going to feel so in your whole element kind of thing. You're going to feel like this is where I'm supposed to be. And even if the big picture is still a little bit murky, that's really okay, because now it's about maybe you don't really need to have this huge picture. Maybe you don't really need to have all these goals and ambitions, and maybe it really, really is better to just be that super enjoyable, enjoy the moment, enjoy your life, enjoy your family kind of person for a while, you know? Let's not try to go out and conquer the world this year. Let's just try to enjoy the work that we've already completed. Now, the next card that came out, if I can get it here, next to the Devil, was the Page of Swords. I wouldn't be surprised if people are a little bit chatty. You know, Mercury's going to be making his way through Aquarius this month and into Pisces, and then there's going to be a Mercury retrograde at the same time when the Sun enters into Pisces. So we have this this whole vibe of like, let's let it go. Let's not think it through too much. Like, because our minds might want to be active, but I also know that you're very aware that you can try to figure this out all you want, but at the end of the day, the true lessons that are needing to be extracted, they'll come later. So you don't need to sit and like worry about what all the lessons were and think about all the things that you were supposed to learn and did you do it right and are you thinking along the right lines. Like the Page of Swords is very much just like be in the breeze. Let go a little bit. You can still work, right? Eight of Coins. You can still go to work and do the things and like I say, like make up for lost time or whatever. You can still do that within the things that are within your control. But I think one of the hardest lessons for Capricorn the past few years has been the outcome really is going to be, determined by your higher self rather than the things that are truly in your control. So the Page of Swords is very whimsical. I like him with the Knight of Cups as well. He's whimsical, he's curious, he's interested in learning, he's interested in trying to just see wherever the wind blows, and he's very grateful for wherever the wind blows. Both of these very optimistic, and when I say optimistic, I don't even necessarily mean always like looking at the bright side. More optimistic in terms of like, and I guess maybe enthusiastic is probably a much better word. More enthusiastic about the moment, enthusiastic about tonight rather than the 12-year plan, right? Now, all this being said, the very last row we get the Lovers, which I love. Because this I see as the unity, right? The unity within oneself, always. And it's what happens as the Lovers kinds of cycles through. We see the kind of masculine and feminine imagery on both. Is the Devil what happens when something becomes codependent? Is the Devil what happens when something that could have been so great becomes so dark? Sure, but there's external, ways of interpreting this. There's internal ways of interpreting this. But all in all, everything always indicates some kind of a choice. As you are releasing this Devil energy, you are coming into unification. This, I think, has a lot to do with your internal state manifesting in the external world. And because you really are enjoying your friends, you really are enjoying your significant others, you really are enjoying your work, because you are truly in that state or are working your way into creating space to be in that state, you reach that perfect harmony within oneself and amazing things happen. Your world becomes quite fertile. Your world becomes quite abundant when you tap into that state. So the Lovers and the Ten of Cups working harmoniously with the world and the Devil reversed to ensure that where you really are wanting to be is going to be in your reality now, today. In this moment, in this very instant, that the Lovers is and always has been a choice. And that choice could have been made at any time. And now you're realizing how in control you are. Not of the external stuff, but of in here. And because justice is kind of governing here as your environment, it's really, really, really crucial to understand and operate as though the laws of the universe are always underway, because they are. So the more and more Ten of Cups you are, the more and more you enjoy the things you do, and the more pleasure you take in doing things or being with people, the more your external circumstances will give you opportunities to enjoy more pleasure. Okay, and I like the Lovers in terms of the word pleasure because it signifies both emotional pleasure and physical pleasure. Well, let's say emotional, spiritual, intellectual. I guess we can lump those all three into kind of the more metaphysical realm, and then the physical pleasure here too. Those of you who are looking for healthy relationships, as you release the toxicity of a past relationship, you then create more space for the Lovers to enter into your life. Now, the Eight of Swords came out right next to it, which tells me, I think you're putting down this judgment tool, this tool of discernment that we all have And I think a lot of us, we're not really taught how to use that properly. We spend so much energy judging ourselves and judging people around us and trying to figure things out and judging situations, but rather, instead of kind of reserving that talent or that skill for things that are truly matter. But here we are reserving judgment, I think. That was my first impression when I was kind of like pulling out the cards and sat with it, as Capricorn is reserving judgment. They're not picking up their judge's gavel and trying to make any kind of resolution of any kind. They're just like, I'm not going to think too hard about this. I'm not going to weaponize my pleasure. I'm not going to sacrifice my pleasure. I'm not going to, kill something with my thoughts or my fear of something going away. I'm just going to enjoy it, and that's it. And as you put down your swords, or you choose, rather it's more of a choice to not wield your swords, which is your thoughts, right? That's what swords represent. I think you're more attracted to playful thoughts right now. It's very playful energy for Capricorn right now. It is more about the good things. Like, I don't know that Capricorn is really sitting there wanting to have these deep philosophical conversations with anybody. I don't think they're wanting to like get into it with anybody. It's all very straightforward with Capricorn right now. And so that's why you're like, I'm not going to think this to death, and I'm not going to doom anything to failure, especially when things are going really well. And when you feel like things are coming to a close, because we've been feeling like that for a really long time. 2019 was so fascinating to watch ourselves go through this whole process of understanding and learning how to release things and understanding what it means to affect change within ourselves and how to manifest things externally. And here you are officially closing out that chapter. Now, I love this King of Wands here too. I'm wondering if this isn't someone else. And I like, actually, hold on, let me pull it up like this. I like the Knight of Cups with the King of Wands because they both have a more magical kind of point of view. There's more focus on, let's say not any more focus on any one thing in particular, but there's a lot less focus on achievement, and it's more about doing the things that you want to do because you want to do it. There's a lot of sparkle with the King of Wands. This is a very Leo kind of energy, someone who is always kind of seeking out the good things. And they're right there looking at the Lovers too. This could be a part of you as well. This could just be a you and you reading and have nothing to do with anybody else, and that's great. So here we have the King of Wands looking straight at the Lovers, but very aware that he is not going to think the Lovers to death. He's very aware that he's not going to kill any potential for abundance and wealth and passion simply because he's thinking about it too hard. All right, now let's go ahead and put the camera down and we will pull out the clarifiers for the comprehensive, and you can see how all these cards came out. Thanks. Alrighty, Capricorn, so here are how the cards came out. For those of you who are wondering, this deck here is called the New Palladini deck. It's kind of an older deck actually, but I really love it, so I thought I'd pull it out for the first two cards. Let's pull out some oracle cards specifically for the Knight of Cups to get a little bit more information about you. The more and more I look at this spread, I'm like, now is really not the time for a great deal of thinking and philosophy. I know I kind of already said that, but it's important to reiterate. It's not a time for understanding. It's more a time for adapting and, implementing and modifying behavior and doing the things that make sense for you to do. Okay, Knight of Cups here. It's a time for healing. Yeah, it's not hermit time, but it's also, it's not like I don't know, it's not complex. There's nothing complicated about where you're at or about where you're going. It's all very simple. It's all very straightforward. So I love the Page of Swords with the Knight of Cups. I feel like they vibe really well together. Communication, even though there is a Mercury retrograde building up, I think it's all just very smooth. I think it's very, it's probably a good time for you to really stay away from your tech, you know, and just have face-to-face conversations. Material harvest is going to be amazing, goes perfectly with the Lovers. You are going to reap the reward of the seeds that you have been trying to sow. And it might not all happen like in February, obviously, but I think now's the time when you really, really, really deserve to see the fruits of your labor. You always have, of course, but now it is a little bit different, isn't it? It's all a little bit different. The energy, it all feels so unfamiliar. Okay. Now let's go ahead. We'll pull out a couple more clarifiers for the Knight of Cups. For those of you who are new to my channel, these cards are going to be discussed in the comprehensive reading. The link will be down below, but I'll pull them out here so you can see. We'll talk for another 20 to 25 minutes about these cards here. Cups, cups, cups. See, Magician reverse. It's really not about initiating new things. It's about the continuation of the things that you've already really started. Judgment, excellent. Ooh, judgment, excuse me, justice and judgment. If any of you are involved in legal battles, it's likely that things are going to either resolve or there will be some, I think maybe I already said that in the beginning of the reading, there will be some favorable outcomes here for you, which will be fantastic. Ooh, see, look at how amazing that Ten of Cups is. Double Lovers. Really is about pleasure, you guys. Anyone who's like a negative kind of person in your life, or a place of stress, or a situation that causes stress, anything like that, I feel has so little power right now. A lot of people coming out. This is all about your community, you guys. Ooh, World reversed. Your community, your people, your tribe. Makes sense for Aquarius season, I guess, huh? The Devil is any place where you have felt desperate. One more for that, okay. But even the Devil is going to be a place of abundance for you. We've officially pulled out every king. Oh my gosh, double sun. I always see the sun energy with this card here. So you get like double sun, triple sun. Definitely a connection, Eight of Swords with the King of Wands. We'll clarify that in the reading. Honestly, it's about no judgment. Making no judgment, passing no judgment. It's a good time to practice your ability to be compassionate. Okay. All right. We'll go ahead and pick up here in the comprehensive reading. Thank you guys so much. Have an amazing February, and we'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.